always look for love in the wrong places. People will use that against me. Everything that I had interest in, just let me show you guys that you're better than this and I beat this. So can you. What's up guys, it's the girl Anto. How are you doing today? If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you haven't subscribed us yet, click that subscription button right down below and turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified anytime I upload a new video. As you guys could tell by today's title, I'll be sharing with you guys my depression story. This was a story that I was kind of hesitant on sharing because it's like you don't want to be judged for it, and then it's like a next thing, I don't know, I was just thinking all sorts of stuff. I hope that it could help someone out there to not give up, and I hope that it can bring hope and help someone, especially if you're feeling down and out and feel like the last thing to do is just to give up, right? I'm here to tell you guys that you don't have to give up, and I'm here to tell you guys that everything is going to be okay. So let's get into this video. It all started for me when I was in Jamaica, and that's about like from the age of 16. If you guys don't know, my parents are ministers of the gospel. They're pastors, and I'm a PK, a pastor's kid. I felt like my parents did not have time for me. I felt like they were too busy going out there trying to win souls for God, which is totally fine. They were always, if it's not one meeting they have to go to another meeting, and it was so much things that they had to do. So it's like by the time they come home, only thing they want to do is eat, bathe and sleep. I did not have time to like talk to my parents about anything, and I was going through my teenage stage where this was like a don't care type of mood. This was like a let's try and let's explore new things type of mood. And I did just that, basically. I tried talking to my mom at the time about it. I was telling her like, I feel like they don't have time for me. I feel like they don't love me and stuff like that. But my mom always had it to say that anything I want I would get, or I would always be traveling, I would always be going on vacation and stuff. But my mom failed to realize at the time that it wasn't about material things. I wasn't focused on the fact that they buy me plane ticket to go here and there. They're giving me anything I ask for. You know, it wasn't, for me, it wasn't that. I felt like I wanted my mom to be there for me, to talk to me, and I didn't get that. It took me a while to understand that the job that they had took so much out of them, but it still did not take away the fact that they needed to know how to manage work with family and plus marriage. You cannot allow work to get the best of you and then forget about your home. You cannot be out there winning souls while you're losing one in your home. We're over that situation now, but I'm just explaining to you guys. It was a lot for my parents, my family and I. We had so many disagreements, and I am a very feisty young lady. I wouldn't call myself rude. I would just say I'm very straightforward and feisty. So I tell you what is on my mind, but sometimes it might come out wrong. It might come out a bit harsh. It might not come out as nice as I thought it would come out at the time. So it might come out a little rude. And I used to tell my mom, like, come on, like, show me some type of love, like, you know, stuff like that. And I never used to listen to her. I used to do whatever I wanted to do. I was just this wild child. And it's not that I was wild because I wanted to be wild, or I was wild because I was rude type of wild. It was just that I was looking for attention that I wasn't getting at the time, I would say, or that I think that I deserved as a child or as a teenager. And as you guys know, when you reach into this teenage stage, it's a whole different level. You want to experience stuff, you want to try things, you want to explore, and if you don't have someone who is there to guide you, you will be easily strayed. You can stray so easy. And I strayed very far. Um, but anyways, that's not the whole point. One, family was my main reason for my depression. The second reason was the people that I kept as friends. I never really had a genuine friend. I'm not gonna say I never have people that I really and truly could talk to and they were there, but where are they now? You know, I don't have like all those people who I thought I was close with and all those people that meant something to me. I where are they? I'm not. I don't even know. Like, I don't have none of them around me. No. I might say hi and bye, but they're nowhere to be found. You understand? And it was like I never really had friends that motivated me to do right, or friends that would lead me in the right path. Let me say this. I've never been that friend that follows people. I'm always that friend that leads, or I'm always a friend that does whatever I want to do. It's not what Tom, Dick, and Harry wants me to do. But I'm just saying, like, the company that I kept wasn't companies that um could uplift me. It's like they were all at the bottom. And by saying all at the bottom, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. I'm not trying to talk low on anyone. I'm just saying, like, they were at the bottom. And if I am associating myself with those type of people, that's where I'm gonna stay. So I did not look for friends that could uplift me. I was always settled with that type of friends. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. But I was always settled with those type of friends, and I think that that had a lot to do with me too, because those are the friends who were heartbroken. Those are the friends whose house was dysfunctional. Those were the friends who um had some type of issues. Those are the friends who were depressed too. Those are the type of things that I was around. And me being depressed already, that wasn't helping my situation. So that had a lot to do with it too. Then as I got older, I found out that I had PCOS. If you don't know what PCOS, I'm gonna leave it on the screen here so that you guys could read up on that. It's an ovarian syndrome. So that's small cysts around your ovaries. And that the side effects for that is depression as well, and anxiety. I had those. Depression and anxiety, and those two together isn't good at all, trust me. When both of them hit you at once, it's not good. That contributed to my depression, and it made me feel lonely. I always would be crying. I cried myself to sleep. I always felt like I wasn't worth it. Plus, I was insecure about myself. I have so many insecurities that up to this day I'm still trying to work on. My biggest insecurity was the spots on my skin, like the dots on my legs and stuff. These are my biggest insecurities, and I got those from Hurricane Dean, I think. After the Hurricane Dean, I don't know, they just came up on my skin, and my self-esteem went to the ground. I would not wear shorts. I would always wear long pants and stuff, long t-shirts, because even if the sun is hot outside, I will have on my long t-shirts and my long pants, because it was all over my skin. But most of it came off my hands and it stayed on my legs. That made me so insecure, and that made me feel like I wasn't beautiful enough. Especially when I know that my skin was nice and clean and smooth, and then this whole hurricane just come and mash up my skin, and then I would see people with nice skin. I would make me feel that type of way. And then I had this insecurity with my stretch marks was some of my insecurities as well. The fact that my hand, when you see it just down here, that was a big insecurity. The spots underneath my neck, my back, and on my face, those were insecurities too that I had. And being insecure is not a good thing. I've never really wished to look like somebody else, but I felt like I wasn't beautiful enough. Like, the way I am now, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt like I wasn't beautiful enough. And I would always use makeup to hide my spots. There will be times when you would never see my face without makeup. Never. People would say like, oh, but you look pretty just the same or whatever, whatever. Yeah. But for you, you can say that, you know. But for me, I would be like, okay, just lying or stuff like that. But anyways, those were some of the things, are the main reasons for my depression. Also, relationships. I would also enter relationships that I think some were toxic, and some were just relationships that I shouldn't have entered. I always end up with people that weren't loyal, that would cheat, and then me already being insecure about myself, they cheating, they have me thinking that, okay, you know, what's so different about them that you have to cheat on me with them and stuff like that. So those stuff get me depressed too, because I always felt like I wasn't good enough, and it made me feel like I was less than at the time. It was just so much, you know. I've had moments where I've disappointed my family, and at the time my parents would say that, you know, I won't be anything good, and I will just stay there and this and that and whatever. And let me tell you guys, especially for the parents, if you're watching this thing, let me tell you, the worst thing you can tell a child is that they're not good enough, or they don't do it, they're good for nothing. That's the worst thing you can tell your child. No matter if you're upset, no matter if you're frustrated, be careful of what you tell your children, because it plays a big part in their lives, and it's something that you will never ever forget, no matter how far you have moved on, no matter how far you've came. It's something that you'll never be able to forget. So parents, don't tell your children that they're not good enough, or don't tell your children that they won't come out to be anything good, because you see they're lazy, or you see they're not doing what they're supposed to do, or they're disappointing you with their grades or stuff like that. Or don't tell your children they're dunce or whatever. Don't call your children name. That hurts. Woo, I won't cry, hold on. That hurts. And it also makes you, as the individual who's being called names, believe it at some point in time. And especially when you are depressed and you're going through it, that's the worst thing somebody could say to you, because you are here, you are already feeling bad about yourself. You already feel like you're worthless. You already feel like you're not good enough. And for someone else to tell you that, regardless if it's your parents or not, for someone else to tell you that is like they're just confirming it. And that hurts. It really and truly hurts. So parents, I'm begging you, never tell your child those stuff, no matter if they're disappointing you. And by the way, and something that I think that you guys should understand or look into as parents, before you come to your own conclusion on, oh, you're just lazy, you're not doing anything, or why you keep feeling your grades are just done so or whatever, check your child. You don't know what's going on with them. So instead of jumping to your conclusion, to your own conclusion, ask your child, how are you feeling, whatever, whatever. Talk to your child. Maybe they might tell you, Mom, I'm depressed. And then you will understand. I'm just saying. My mom especially, because my dad is not a person that really talks. He doesn't really talk that much. So even if he's worrying or he's upset, he keep things to himself. But my mom is the one that would really actually just let it out and just say what she has to say. It was hard for me and my mom to get along, because she would say things to me and then I would act based on what she says. And then I was a child that had this don't care attitude. I didn't care because I felt like, okay, I'm already worthless, I'm already not good enough, so, oh, whatever. Doesn't matter because I'm already feeling this way. So I already feel like I'm not good enough. I already feel like I'm worthless. Hey, might as well I don't do anything. Might as well I just continue being who I am, worthless, and that's it. So I started believing that. I started believing that I was worthless. I started telling myself that I was worthless. I started looking in the mirror and talking to myself, and I'm like, and I was, and I would literally tell myself that I'm not good enough. And I would look at myself and I would say, "You're really ugly. You're fat." I would tell myself, "Oh my gosh!" I promised myself that I wouldn't cry in this video. I promised myself. Oh my god. And this is why it was so hard for me to decide to make this video or not. Because every time I talk about my depression, it brings back memories. Okay. So I would tell myself that I'm not good enough. I'll tell myself in the mirror that I'm ugly. I'll tell myself in the mirror that I'm fat. I'll tell myself all there is to say about myself. I would tell it to myself. And I started believing it. The things that I used to do, I did it mostly for attention. I did it because I wanted to feel love. I did them because I felt like I wasn't getting the love that I needed at the time. So I would always look for love in the wrong places. And then people will use that against me because they see that I'm a broken girl. They see that I want love. So they pretend to love me. They pretend to care about me, and then they still hurt me. So it was so much. It was so much that I had to go through. Things that my parents don't even know about up to this day. Things that nobody knows about. I had to go through on my own. And then I never used to trust people because of what I've been through. The friends that I keep and the betrayal that I got from them. It was hard for me to trust people, so I kept things to myself most of the times, and I went through it on my own without my parents knowing, my brother knowing, my family knowing. It was just me, and I had to live with the fact that I had to live with it at a young age. I had to understand that I had to get over it, go through it, and get over it at the same time. And I had to pretend that everything was okay with me at the same time. When the truth is, it was not okay. I was crying out for help and no one didn't even realize that. And it was just too much. It was just too much with me being depressed. Oh god. So fast forward, one of the main reasons I did my tattoos were because I was depressed. And I felt like I needed to feel pain to feel okay. I needed to feel pain to relax myself. I needed to feel pain to just forget about everything that was bothering me deep down inside. So I did tattoos. As I said in my previous video where I talked to you guys about my tattoos and meanings, these two tattoos here means a lot to me, especially this one. This one, it always reminds me to stay strong. Every time I look at this tattoo, It reminds me why I'm here. It reminds me that I've been through so much and I've reached this far. And then this one, I love music, and every time I'm feeling down and out, I just run to music. And this is just what keeps me going. I've been judged for my tattoos. I've been put aside or labeled. I'm always the type of person that really and truly, I'm this don't care person. And I think that it's not a good thing to don't care, but then sometimes it's good to not care what people think about you. And then that is something that I kind of like about myself, because I'm always this type of person that don't care. Like, I don't care what nobody thinks of me. And well, no, that I've reached to this point, because it's like I've already think the worst about myself. So it's like, what else can they think about me? So if they have something to say about my tattoos or whatever they have something to say about, it doesn't bother me that much. But as I grow older, I understand that sometimes you do need to care just a little bit, because I guess caring a little bit might help a situation or something. But this tattoo means a lot to me. My depression used to also make me like sleep. All I want to do is sleep. I just want to lay in bed. I don't want to get up. It made me antisocial. It made me the things that I enjoyed doing, I did not enjoy doing them anymore. It was just everything that I had interest in. Just all I wanted to do is just lay in bed and just lay there. Just don't do anything. How I got over it though, or how it helped me, because I'm still not over depression, and depression is something that it doesn't go away. Not just so. It goes away, but it comes back. So it's like it's there. But if you learn to control it, then it's gonna be better for you. Okay, so I'm not gonna cry anymore. So, how I ended up getting treatment for my depression, because I was diagnosed with severe depression, and my mom would always tell me, come, let's go and do counseling, let's go and get I don't remember what you call those people that deal with depression. I don't remember what you call those doctors, but she was always telling me to go and see this person and stuff, and I didn't go for a while until it started to get worse. And I said, you know what, let me just try and see if that's going to help. I went there, they diagnosed me, then they referred me to a counselor. And as I said, I don't really see the need to talk to people. I don't really like talking to people, because most of the time, like, when you talk to people, it doesn't change anything. You just talk to people, tell people your story, and then that's it. So I wasn't the type that like wanted to talk to counselors or anything like that. But I still end up going. And I went, and I would have to see her like 2 times per week for an hour. And I started feeling like this is not making sense. All they want to do is just have me there, sit me down, and have me talk. Tell them how I feel, what I did, whatever. I'm like, that wasn't helping me. I just feel like that was just not helping me. But before that, the doctor gave me a prescription. It was a depression pills. I guess it calms your nerves or whatever it did. It did. And if I was feeling depressed, I would always take it, and it did help. It did help with my depression, because it made me feel like there was nothing to worry about when I took that pill. And then after a while, my depression came back strong, and that's when I started to smoke. I'm gonna tell you guys everything about my smoking habits and how I quit and why I quit and all of that in the next video, but I'm just talking about depression here. That's when I started to smoke. I started to smoke because I was like, the one time I tried smoking, I didn't even know how to roll the spliff. I just tried a little thing, and once the smoke was coming in, I was good. And I realized that when I smoked, like, the world was off my shoulder. Like, I was free like a bird. I didn't have no care in the world. My depression was gone. My loneliness was gone. My not like my insecurities were gone. So that I made that a habit to always stay high. But why I really and truly made this video is just to tell you guys that it's okay to feel alone. It's okay to feel like there's nobody there for you. It's okay. It's natural. It's normal. But don't allow it to get the best of you. Don't allow it to get the best of you, because when you allow it to get the best of you, that is when things get worse. That is when it really and truly gets crazy. I feel like at the time when I was going to the counselor, I felt like I needed somebody to. Well, this is my thing. I always say that you cannot talk to me if you've never been in my situation, because you studied for what I'm going through. You haven't been through it. You just studied. You just studied for it. So you can't come and talk to me based on what you studied. What if you wasn't even a good student in school but you passed? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like I want to talk to someone who could relate to my story. I don't want to talk to someone that studied to learn about my story or to learn about my depression. I don't need someone that studied. I need someone that went through it to talk to me. Because I always feel like you could relate better with someone once you've been through it yourself. And that is she the counselor that they got for me, she was just there asking me questions, what I did today, what I feel like I could have done different, um what do I want to do, what do I think I'm gonna do tomorrow, or this, that. She was asking me a question. I just felt it just wasn't making sense for me. And I left. I never went back to that meeting again. I never went back to that counseling. I said screw that. Anyways, I even attempt cutting myself. The marks is somewhere, I mean it's fading, but I had a mark right here. I attempt suicide. I wanted to kill myself. I tried twice and I cut myself once. Well, partially cut myself once. The feeling of being lonely is really hard. The feeling of being worthless is hard. It never goes away, but it's better to handle. The more you understand it, the better it is for you, because you could handle it. One thing that I did do, and that was my last option, it was to look to God. When I couldn't take it anymore, when it was getting too hard for me, that's when I looked to God. I looked to God while I was smoking weed. After a few times smoking weed and stuff like that, my depression came back. I was smoking weed and I just started to cry. And then I talked to God and I told him how I felt. I told him everything that was going on with me. I told him everything that needed to be said. I told him everything that I was holding up inside, and I just explained to him, and I was telling God everything that I needed to do. And then I started to read my Bible, and it helped. It helped with my depression, guys. It really and truly helped. And the thing is, that was the last option. Talking to God or praying was the last thing that I had in mind. Instead, I was looking for love. It was just so much at that time. But the moral of this whole story, guys, there's so much more to my depression than what I'm saying right now. But it's just that my mind is everywhere right now. So whatever I missed out, I might just do it in another video if this video ever get posted. But the main reason for me uploading this video is because for any one of you who are out there and you're depressed, you're feeling like you're worthless, you're feeling ugly, you're feeling fat, you're feeling like you're not good enough, I am here to tell you that you are amazing. And I'm here to tell you that no matter what anyone says or anyone thinks of you, you are amazing. And don't allow them to get the best of you. Fight this depression. Beat depression. When depression says to lay down, you say, no, I'm getting up. When you look in the mirror and depression tells you that you're ugly, say, no, I'm beautiful. Start to speak positive about yourself and it's going to help. As I said, depression doesn't go away because I still have my moments when I get depressed. I still have my moments when I cry. But now I could handle it better than how I handled it before. Now I don't have to sit and feel sorry for myself. Instead, I'll go through the phase, but I'll talk to that depression. I'll tell depression that it won't get me down. I'll tell depression that I'm bigger than him or her, whatever it is. I am bigger than you. And I will get up, I'll rise, and I'll do things to just take my mind off of me being depressed. And I'm here again to say, please don't give up. For those of you who feel that you are not loved, you're loved. Let me show you guys that you're better than this, and I beat this. So can you. So can you. My heart goes out to those who really and truly are depressed and don't know and don't have no way out. I can understand how you guys feel, and it hurts my heart because I know that there are people out there who are really at their end, who are having suicidal thoughts and stuff. And I just want to tell you guys to hold on strong. Pray about it. Talk to God about your depression. Talk to God about how you're feeling. And please don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Again, if you ever need someone to talk to, I am here. I am willing to talk to you. And as I said, I've been through it. And I'm still going through it, but I'm going through it at a stage where I could understand and a stage where I could control it. Let me help you. Let me help you. And by the way, I'm also studying for social work. But yeah, let me help you guys. Let me help you through this journey. But I did not want to cry in this video, but whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for staying tuned to my depression story. And I also want to say, guys, my mom and I have built such a relationship that it's ridiculous. It's amazing. And how we got to that stage is because I had to learn to forgive myself for feeling bad about who I was, and I had to forgive myself for talking to myself as a worthless person. And then after I forgave myself, I had to forgive my mom for the things that she said that she may not even know that were hurting me. And that's how we came back as one. Forgiveness is the key, guys. Forgive people, but first start with forgiving yourself for not loving yourself enough, and then everything will fall in place. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you haven't subscribed as yet, click that subscription button right down below and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I upload a new video. And always remember, guys, to stay true to yourself, because there's nobody in this world that's better than you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. To tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. Hey, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. That Auntie will say to tell a friend, just subscribe to her channel. Until next time, guys. Peace.